In the realm of religion, we're often presented with a binary view of good and bad, but is it really that simple? Picture this. Job, a man of great faith, blessed with wealth, children, and happiness. His life was the epitome of prosperity, yet this picture of tranquility was about to shatter. Job's world turned upside down when God and Lucifer, two supernatural entities traditionally seen as opposites, came together to test his faith. You see, Job wasn't just a man, he was a pawn in a celestial game, a toy for the gods to play with. Jehovah, often seen as the epitome of goodness, and Lucifer, the embodiment of evil, both had a hand in Job's trials. They stripped him of everything he held dear, his wealth, his children, even his health. This wasn't a mere punishment or a test, it was a gamble, a roll of the dice, determining the course of Job's life. The celestial twins, as we might call them, didn't spare a thought for Job's suffering. They were too engrossed in their game, their egos breezing through the wind, leaving Job in the dust. Despite the immense pain and loss, Job's faith never wavered. He clung onto it, even when it seemed like the gods had abandoned him. His skin was marred by disease, his heart heavy with grief, yet his faith remained unscathed. But here's the crux of the matter. Job's story isn't just about unwavering faith or suffering, it's about the roles of good and evil in religion. God and Lucifer, two entities often seen as black and white, were both responsible for Job's suffering. They were both instigators, both the cause and effect. Job's story leaves us questioning. Are the roles of good and bad in religion absolute, or is there more to this binary view? It's a question that may not have a definitive answer, but it's one that's worth pondering. Now let's delve into a unique perspective on Job's story, as presented by the Looney Lyricist. Picture this: Job had all his faith, while Lucifer lost grace. Jehovah was keen on disproving that Job's faith was an empty place. Then they both reached in, the dark creator and bright twin, and pulled out dice of fire and ice. They rolled away on poor Job's life. Job lost all his gold, and his kids would never grow old. The life that he knew was put in a noose by twins hanging onto a deuce. Everything that he believed was gambled away on an ego's breeze. His skin turned into a disease, a casualty of vanities. Every block that he could love was knocked down by children from above. These twins, with might they're unworthy of, made Job become their mourning dove. The poem questions the usual binary view of good and bad in religion, and playfully suggests that faith is both good and bad, depending on how much wine they've had and which twin you should choose to hold up on that pedestal of gold. Take good note of poor Job's fate. He dared to question something great, and greatness roared about how great it is, at ignoring the common quiz. This colorful reimagining of Job's story paints a picture far removed from the traditional binary view of good and bad. The poem portrays both God and Lucifer as petty and self-serving entities, making a mockery of the suffering of Job. It's a provocative perspective, isn't it? The Looney Lyricist's poem and Job's story force us to reconsider the binary view of good and bad in religion. We've traversed the trials of biblical Job and delved into the depths of the Looney Lyricist's evocative poem, a tale of faith tested to its limits and a lyrical exploration of the dichotomy of good and evil. We've questioned the rigidity of our views on virtue and vice and challenged the traditional narratives. The poem uses the imagery of twins, fire and ice, to indicate the dual nature of faith and the divine. It portrays Job as a pawn in a celestial gamble, a casualty of vanity, reminding us of the vulnerability of our beliefs when faced with adversity. So let's continue this conversation. How do you perceive good and bad in your faith? Do you see them as two sides of the same coin or as distinct entities? What do you think about the binary view of good and bad in religion? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you for joining us on this thought-provoking journey.